On this podcast, we explore the many dimensions of spirituality and how they intersect with everyday life. Join us as we dive deep into conversations about how people are serving humanity, embodying spiritual wisdom, and creating positive change in the world. From ancient traditions to modern practices, the Spirituality Now podcast is your space to discover, learn, and be inspired. Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast. I am your host, Ivonne Delaflor. I'm excited for the things that are upcoming, incoming. I don't even know how to say them. And we have a guest that has been with us before. And I think she was with us when our podcast was in Spanish and English. And then we interviewed her for, she gave a big concert in Glastonbury, in the Glastonbury big concert with the Xicome Federation or family. But I'm excited because today we're going to talk about the power of flow, which I think, is typically we talk about flow and the zone of flow. And it's very well known, the word flow. But we're also going to talk about the doors of time and the people that are trapped on them. And let me just reintroduce you to my beloved friend, Grace Terry. She's a singer, songwriter, spiritual guide, and founder of the Infinite Voice Academy. And she's coming to talk with us about the power of flow and the doors of time. She is also going to share with us today the hidden meaning of a 2007 prophetic dream she had, which is for right now, 2025 and beyond, offering a profound message about the importance of spiritual flow in these transformative times. She has over 30 years of experience in meditation, sound healing, using the voice as a sacred instrument. Grace has guided thousands of people toward healing and alignment. She has released more than 10 musical albums, topped the charts in New Age and world music charts in Mexico, and performed at renowned festivals such as the ones that I told you, Xicome and Glastonbury, yes. We're going to talk about the hidden meaning of this prophetic dream, which you are going to be like, pay attention, just pay attention. How to use our inner voice as a tool for healing and activation, what it means to be in flow for the times that we're living right now, because it's so used, that word, but what does it mean to live in flow? We're going to talk about the consequence of spiritual stagnation, the keys of crossing the doors of time, and so much more. So with that said, welcome Grace Terry back again to the show.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. So happy to be here again with you.
I know. When were you here? You were in English and Spanish with Glastonbury, right?
Yes. I was. It was 2 years ago, actually. It's going to be 2 years now in June that I was
Glastonbury. How was that? We should
well,
follow up. Like, how was people think the singers have it easy? It's hard work, huh?
It's hard work because you have to perform sometimes at 2 a.m. in the morning. So you have to be prepared. And it was an amazing experience because, it's Glastonbury. It's the oldest festival in the world. And I get to see Elton John, Cat Stevens, all the big names are always in Glastonbury. So I was very honored to be invited to sing and represent Mexico. So it was a lot of work, but it was very fun at the same time. So I really enjoy that experience happened in my life.
So Grace, well, welcome back from Glastonbury 2 years ago into the now. And let's just get into it because, by the way, Grace and I are beyond friends. Grace and I are going to do another podcast eventually because she took the Bodhisattva vows. For those of you who do not know about the Bodhisattva vows, I have a podcast episode. I don't remember which one. Maybe we'll find, you can just, in Spirituality Now podcast, you can just search for Bodhisattva vows. And I have a little podcast about explaining a little bit about those, but those are life changing. And Grace, I said, why don't you take the Bodhisattva vows? She took them, and I think our lives change so completely after that. It's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. It's like, Grace, it's like going to Glastonbury, that people think like, wow, you're going to play Glastonbury so easy. Oh, you're going to take the Bodhisattva vows. It's so spiritual. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to curse because this is Spirituality Now podcast. But we'll talk about that in another time. But we're going to get into it, into the thick of it, because what you don't know, maybe some of you know, some of you don't. Grace is an incredible astrologer, and he's an astrologer that not only uses astrology like based on your chart, on your birth date, etc. She's very futuristic, futuring wise, right? She will look at multidimensionally at your chart, use it as a baseline, use like what's happening with the planets, what you can you do, but also accessing the points in your chart that this is how you exit this is how you grow, this is how you evolve, and this is how you can create a much better, brilliant future. Right. And so she has all of these skills besides the voice skills, besides being a teacher, etc. So we're going to start with that. So you were sharing with me, Grace. I just interviewed her for a Latin American Familia Latina. We have a YouTube channel. Tenemos un canal de YouTube that is, I put content in English and Spanish. Ponemos contenido en inglés y en español. Go listen to her interview only in Spanish there. Ve y escucha su entrevista en español para mis amigos latinos. Anyways, but we were talking there about Pluto and about the things that are going on, the astrological weather that the humanity is experiencing. Why don't we start there? What's happening in the world? Because we're going to talk all about floor and the door. Floor. Floor. Probably I need to be grounded in the floor right now. Flow and the doors of time. But tell us a little bit. Let's set up the energy vibe onto the background. What's going on? What is the astrological weather? Take the body temperature of the cosmos. Tell us what's going on.
Well, when there's chaos or crisis, is because something new is about to be born. So that's the moment we are right now. We are in the midst of, like a woman in labor, having a baby. That's what we are doing as a humanity, as a collective consciousness. So we are ending an era with Pluto and Capricorn, ending and entering a Pluto in Aquarius. So that means that all that we knew as the structure that is based our society already gone. It's done. It's not for this time. This time needs the new. Aquarius is the future, is the inventor, innovation, originality, eccentricity. So that's what we are going right now, and that's why everything looks so dark, so chaotic, because it needs to be chaotic to be in order. That's why they call the order of the chaos. So how about we start doing all of that ourselves as a humanity? How are we going to do this? How are we going to create the new from our heart, from our co-creation with the divine, which we all are? When we were talking about the oneness, it's not that everybody is the same, because we are not. That, thank God. Otherwise, will be very boring if we live in a society like the Oompa Loompas from Charlie, from the factory, the chocolate factory. It's like how we are going to create from our individuality as a human unity, not only as me, myself, and I. It's me and we. How we gonna create the new order of the world, and not exactly as we've been thinking about what is the new world order. No, that's another thing. That's a bias.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we're
glad,
talking.
Grace. I'm glad you are mentioning, because suddenly, the Spirituality Now podcast is going conspiracy theories to everyone. Welcome to the future. This is where we begin to get known, right? This is like, yeah, let's talk about the new world order. Yeah, the new world order inside of us. Let's right. Let's
Exactly.
do that.
I mean, that's it. And how we gonna tap into that? Listening to an inner voice, listening to what's unfolding in our present life. When we talk about, like Eckhart Tolle said very wisely in his book, The Power of Now, I will say the power of flow. Because the flow has to do with the present. When we accept what we are going through and don't resist, then we can enter a timeline of a higher consciousness, of a higher octave, like in music.
Wow, that's so powerful. And Grace, you had, I love that. I love that. You had a prophetic dream in 2007 that matches with what you are saying, matches what was going on in the world. Can you tell us a little bit? Because I think that all what is going on, there's a lot of people that are not flowing. There's a lot of people afraid. There's a lot of people also, I was sharing with you that I have uh, people from my past lifetime, 10 years ago, even 1 year ago, on things like that are like still trying to reach out in so pathetic ways or such. Well, pathetic is a judgment. I am openly judging, but it's in such, I feel compassion for them because it's like, why cannot they move on? Why are they still like, oh, you did this to me, or you didn't help me in this, or you should have, and like, help us out, Grace. So tell us about the prophetic dream and why are people so stuck? And I think this prophetic dream that you had is going to be a little bit of a guidance point for everyone.
Because a lot of people are stuck in the past, which is the time. So I've been having prophetic dreams since I can remember, 2 years old. I always had this. But in 2007, I remember it was January 11. I was coming actually from Las Vegas to study with my astrology teacher that she passed a couple of years ago, but she was so wise. And we were talking about the times coming. And that dream was about this being from another planet telling me. And it was a lucid dream because I can tell you that I saw this creature on top of the ceiling looking at me and telling me that the time was going to change, that the doors of time were going to be closed very soon. And and I said, how about that? So he showed me like three doors of the three different elevators. And he says, the people that are in time and they continue to be in the timelines of past, present, and future are going to be stuck because time is going to end as we know it. It's not going to be the time as we know it. So you cannot do anything to help them because it's a free will, it's a choice of the people. So I saw the doors of the elevators closing and people were yelling and screaming. And I really was desperate to help them. I think I was the bodhisattva Baba. So I want to help them. How can I help them? And this creature says, no, there's nothing to do because they are stuck in time and they will be there as long as they
So,
want
in
to
a
be.
way that people that are not, well, what I perceive as not flowing, maybe that's the way they need to go, right? Like, because I have been stuck in many things too, like, or what I perceive now that you know it, stuck in like this kind of like the Oompa Loompa relationships, or things like, why? And you're like, what the heck was I doing there? And so it's like kind of accepting where they are at, not resisting that they are there because that's where they need to be, right? Whatever is they, because I'm very cautious right now and aware that whatever I judge as stock, that could be probably a thought of mine. So I'm gonna let them go. And and I wish no one is trapped, right? I wish freedom for all. But so if you are trapped in the door of time, what are the tools? How can you release yourself from your own self imprisonment? What are the things? I think you were talking to me behind the scenes about you have to be creative, the power of silence. What are the critical things right now that can help people enter more the flow instead of resisting it?
Well, accept where they are at instead of judging people or judging the systems or judging this and that, black and white. Just be and says, this is where I am at. And the only way out is in. There's no way out externally. First has to be internally so we can get out externally as a society. But right now we are seeing this how do I put like this duality. it's very polarized right now, them and me and them and us, and so we have to come to a place that everything is settled, neutrality, and accept how we are as a society, as individuals, because the only way that we can really get out of this is being in acceptance. And the way we accept and stop resisting, we then can start to flow. And when we flow, we can get into different timelines. And that's have been my experience.
So, wow, different time. And what? How does that feel? Like, why would someone want to be in a different timeline perspective? So, what are the benefits of that?
But to be in a higher consciousness mode.
Raja, I really feel right now like Yvonne is to, do you want to be in a higher consciousness? I'm like, I think I'm the one like in the revolving doors of time, like, let me get there, let me get there. So, and how do you, to be in the higher timeline? So you are creative. So what are the tools of creativity that you use? What would you recommend for people to do it right now? Since all of this cosmic play is happening.
Last night, I was reading the book of The Path of Spirituality of David Hawkins, which I really like his work. And he was really, okay, he was really talking about the enlightenment and all the different levels of going to a higher consciousness, like a mathematic, like 100, 200, 300, this table that he did, and he was talking about the higher the consciousness, the higher the bliss. But at the same time, he was telling that to go through these new higher levels, they are physical things that you're going through at the same time, which can be hard. No, so I guess that we are preparing as a humanity sooner or later to be in this higher realm, because it was in the prophecy of the Bible of the 2000 years, the golden era, which Jesus Christ predict. So to go to that level, we have to go through this phase that we are going as a society with the chaos and everything. Because the more we can know our darkness, we can know our light. There's no other way in this arena called
In this
humanity.
arena,
So
for those of us who are
yes,
in the arena, and and the darkness and the light, it's like I was reading in the Kabbalah how everything is light, like how really everything is light, and what we perceive as darkness is just a concentrate, like very densified light, like when you dim the light off. But even if it's turned off, doesn't mean that light is not there. Everything is light. So it's kind of like the more you know yourself, right? This is we're gonna go back to Buddhist teachings, like get to know your real self. And by the way, I just show you a book. You said The Power of Consciousness of David Hawkins. And I raised my book of power. This is not the book of power of consciousness. Those of you who are listening and watching on YouTube, this is the book of power of Robert Greene, because this year my word is power. And I've been reading the book of consciousness of David Hawkins, Robert Greene, everything that I can on power. But Grace, I love what you're saying.
and G Dragon with
Oh my
his
gosh.
music.
And with K-pop here in spirituality now, we are obsessed, everyone. Obsessed with this singer. Shout out to G Dragon. He is so amazingly creative, talking about creativity, talking about stepping into the future, talking about doing things differently. And yes, from spirituality now, this is also very spiritual because wow, I've never seen, witnessed something so powerful in my life.
He's in the flow. That's an
That's it.
artist that is in the flow.
That's it.
Totally.
Shout out to G Dragon. We're gonna tag you.
Yes.
That's the power of flow. That's the power of trust. And now, tell me a little bit before we go. I want a couple of more questions. What are the consequences, Grace? Okay, we're going to be creative. We're going to enter the silence. We're going to trust. We're going to go do our practices. What are the consequences of resisting the flow for you? And what spiritual stagnation can this create? How do people know that they are not flowing?
when I get frustration or angry or desperate, which is our human emotions, they are, but that's a sign that my ego wants to do the will. So I say that it's not my will, it's through me. So when I realize that I want to do something against what I'm living, what is presented for me is in my human life. If I resist that, or I want to change, forcing instead of with my power, I want to force. So that's not to be in a high conscious level. So I just notice that, I acknowledge, and I say, okay, I'm resisting this, so I'm going to take a look at why am I resisting this? What is happening in my body, in my emotional realm, in my mind, and everything. So I love breathing exercises. I love swimming. I love nature because that puts me instantly in the flow and in creative mode that is going through me, not from me. It's an everyday work. It's
Perfect. I think that's it. It's an everyday work. Now, before we go, Grace, because we need to talk about you have an expertise on the power of the voice. How can people use their voice as a tool for healing, for flow and activation in these times?
sing, sing, talk to yourself. I love talking to myself. And I love talking to my cats, my animals, but talking to yourself, because sometimes you have all this mental chat, but once you externalize it, you can see another perception of the reality that is going in through your mind. So when I talk to a friend, or if I'm talking to myself out loud, it's like, oh, yeah, Grace, you're right. Oh, now you see this. I have a conversation with myself that it can sound crazy, but for me, it's like my therapy, to use my voice as a healing tool of what I'm going through in my mental chat, every day. So, or talking like to you as my friend,
As
once
a
you
friend, that's
verbalize,
good. That's good
yeah.
to declare, because sometimes I talk to myself like the worst, like, why didn't you do this? And why did you do like, and I don't feel that great, but you have to talk to yourself, as Louis Hay used to say, right? Talk to yourself as if you love yourself, as if you really were meant to shine and serve others in the world.
Talk to yourself with your bodhisattva vows, with compassion.
Is compassion, compassion for self, which is one of the important things about the Bodhisattva vows, compassion for others, but it starts with yourself. Grace, thank you so much for coming. I know you've done 2 interviews in a row. Tell people where they can find you. I know you can do private sessions for them about their voice, tuning in their voice. You are preparing a surprise that we will reveal shortly. And you also do astrological readings, but to tap into the brilliant future. So tell people where they can find you. Pimp yourself, like they say.
Okay, in Instagram, I'm at Grace Terry Official. In YouTube, Grace Terry. In SoundCloud, Grace Terry 1. I am in Spotify, Amazon, all the platforms, Grace Terry, and Facebook as well. So just Grace Terry. You will tap and you will hear my music or my cosmic reports, which I love to do, tapping into the universal reports, the cosmic news, I say. So
That's so
there you go.
perfect. Grace, well, thank you. We're going to put all of the information on the copy for those of you to contact Grace. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, ring the bell, do all of the things that YouTube asks. We are beginning to nurture that channel little by little. And stay tuned, because we have great news, Grace and I, very soon. We just want to make more solid. And
I want to say something for this podcast and YouTube and everything that Yvonne is doing so amazing. So I will say, you can ring in her bell, ring in her bell.
oh, oh, Awesome. This is the best. We should put it as a slogan. Ring the bell. I cannot do it. I need classes with Grace. Okay, everybody. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, everyone, so much. Keep flowing, keep trusting, keep your faith into action, and stay tuned. We'll see you in our next incredible episode with our incredible guest at the Spirituality Now podcast. Un besito. Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Spirituality Now podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired and empowered you on your spiritual journey. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who may benefit from it. Remember, spirituality is not just something we practice, it is how we live, how we serve, and how we connect. Stay grounded, stay inspired, and keep evolving. Please join us next time for more enlightening discussions. And until then, take care and be well.